All right. Welcome everyone to the TeenLife Live Gap Year Fair Session 2. We're going to take a couple seconds here at the beginning to let everyone roll in and join us, and then we will get underway. All right, it looks like people are starting to come in, and I'm sure more of you will join us as we continue. Once again, welcome to the TeenLife Live Gap Year Virtual Fair. My name is Jonathan Kindle. I am a representative of TeenLife Media, and I am so excited to be bringing you this Gap Year Fair tonight. This is our second session of the evening. Our first session was just wrapped up about 10 minutes ago. If you were there, welcome to session 2. If you're just here for this session, we encourage you to check out the recording of the first session if there's any programs in that session that interest you. A reminder to all of you joining us, your cameras and your microphone are turned off. Our presenters tonight cannot see you. However, representatives from all 5 programs are in the chat, ready and willing to answer any and all questions that you might have. So be sure to take advantage of that and ask them in the question and answer panel in the bottom of the Zoom window or directly in the chat. Following all of our presentations this evening, there will be a short moderated Q&A where you'll have the opportunity to hear even more from these programs outside of their prepared presentations tonight. So we encourage you to stick around and be here for that. We also encourage you after the fair tonight to check out teenlife.com, where we have thousands of gap year and summer program listings. And we really just want to say an extra thank you for joining us tonight. We're so glad to be able to be bringing gap year programs to students and to families after, as we all know, a number of months and a year where this sort of learning and this sort of experiential learning hasn't been as easy to do. So we're so glad to be highlighting gap years tonight. And we're so glad that all of you could join us. Without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to our first program of the evening, and that is Amigos de las Americas Gap Programs.
Thank you. Let me share my screen really quickly. All right, can everybody see my screen?
It's looking good to me.
Awesome. So thank you all for joining. I am not going to be on chat, so if you have questions, feel free to drop them into the chat. I'll be responding after I present. So today I'm going to talk to you about Amigos Gap programming. We have programming this fall as well as in the spring of 2022 coming up. And overall, basically what I want to cover is a little bit about who Amigos is. Amigos de las Americas is basically founded on the principle that we believe young people can and will change the world. We want our participants to be sort of lifelong learners and lifelong leaders. And the vision really is that our programs help folks help set our participants on a path of sort of service and a leadership path in their lifetime. We've been doing this sort of work for 55 years with youth and young adults, and really feel passionately about sort of the work that we do and the programs that we operate. So right now, we currently have 3 offerings for GAP programs. We have one in Costa Rica, which really focuses on the themes of climate change and conservation. We have a program in Colorado, which is oriented around conservation in the West and the dynamics, even cultural dynamics that exist in sort of the urban-rural divide right here in the United States. And then we have a program in Ecuador, which is focused on indigenous rights and food security for Native peoples from Ecuador. So right now, because of COVID and because we want to make sure that our participants are safe and that our partner communities that we operate in are also safe, we are operating in essentially like a pod-based model. Typically speaking, our programs are full immersion, meaning you're spending most of the time in a homestay. We have had to pull back on that right now in the time of COVID because of, again, maybe you might be vaccinated or you might feel safe, but we also want to prevent spread in the communities where we operate. So the way that our programs are structured is this pod-based model. You have sort of a program director, you have health and wellness coordinator and program coordinator, so 3 staff, and then you have the participants. And generally speaking, you're in a pod model where you are within that pod, you are sort of like free to move around, unmasked, etc. But sort of communications externally and sort of like participation in activities like outside of your pod would just be masked and sort of socially distanced where appropriate. Some program dates. We do have a program in Costa Rica this fall that is going to be leaving in September. The deadline to apply for that is going to be July 15th. So if you are looking for something in the fall, July 15th is the deadline to get your application if you want to participate with us. The other programs have application deadlines later in the fall of this year. And just want to quickly touch on the specifics for some of our programs. So this picture is actually from one of the locations that we visit in our Costa Rica Gap semester. You will primarily be staying at a women's farm collective and a nature reserve, a private nature reserve that butts up against a national reserve, and really focusing your curriculum and your activities around service, as well as learning about conservation, climate change, and how that work impacts the people that actually live in the area. Our Colorado Gap semester is quite different in that obviously it's here in the United States, but we really do sort of try to take that lens of cultural humility and apply it to the way we think about perspectives here in the United States. So, we touch on topics like wolf reintroduction and again, like the rural-urban divide and how those dynamics play into the work of a conservationist right here in the United States. And then finally, our program in Ecuador is really focused on the work with our partner organization in Ecuador around indigenous rights and food security, making sure that indigenous crops that have been sort of staples for the community are able to still be available to the community, as well as other really important indigenous rights and service programs in the area. All of our programs really are oriented around service and service learning. So you'll sort of hear me say that word a lot. Do want to touch on health and safety, and I know I am running up on time. So we have a lot of COVID protocols, including a health and safety team, as well as sort of like a group quarantine in country once you arrive. Lots more details there later on. I don't necessarily need to get into it, but do want you to know that we take it very seriously and want to keep you and the communities we serve safe. We also have need-based financial assistance. So if that is something that you need, we absolutely do provide it. And then finally, that's my timer. If you're interested, you can apply now. We are accepting applications on a rolling basis. And you can also reach out to me with any questions in the chat if you'd like to follow up. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Alex. Our next program presenting tonight is Global Citizen Year.
Thank you, Jonathan. Hi, everyone. I will go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so hello, I'm Sade Ojuwola. I'm the admissions manager here at Global Citizen Year. This is a snapshot of our program in India. And so who are we? We are a nonprofit that primarily serves the ages of 17 to 21. And we believe in this age range as very important to the leadership trajectory of any young person. And part of our role is to help support young people in building their leadership skills and tools so that they can be incredible leaders in the future. We do that through our 2 programs, the Academy, which is a virtual program that we are recruiting for right now, and the fellowship. So we typically would be sending students to India, Ecuador, Brazil, but we have put that program on pause due to COVID. We do plan to reopen the fellowship in the fall of 2022, but in the meantime, we're offering the Academy. And so what is the Academy? Students will be able to be in cohorts. So we are a cohort model with students, again, age 17 to 21, all over the world. And I can show you a map in a minute of where all the students were from our most recent cohort. The Fall Academy is going to run from September 19th to December 17th, so about 12 weeks. It's going to be a 7 to 10 hour a week commitment, and it is intentionally flexible to be wrapped around school, so maybe high school, maybe college, could be volunteering, could be a gap experience of your own that you kind of just want to add that extra something to. The Academy is held on the Minerva Forum platform. And we always like to highlight that because it is not a Zoom class. It is very interactive. You can do things like debates, role plays, live polls, all these emojis that you can play with to kind of respond to folks as things are happening. And so it is very interactive and engaging. The Leadership as a Practice course is kind of the meat and potatoes of what you're going to be doing in the Academy. And so that is the course that students take that helps develop them as a leader. They'll also have exclusive access to our Leadership in Action speaker series. So you'll see on the screen, Ariana Huffington. She was one of our speakers for the Leadership in Action speaker series. And I'll talk a bit about that in a moment. And then there's also one-on-one mentorship as a requirement of the Academy. So every student will have a mentor that they meet with consistently over 12 weeks. And students can kind of decide for themselves what that looks like. But it is a critical piece of the Academy because we believe that mentors are an important part of growing as a leader. And then there's also the option to volunteer with one of our impact partners, which I'll also circle back to in a moment. So what is Leadership as a Practice? What is this course about? This course is really designed to help students develop self-awareness and also understand what is needed in modern times to be an efficient and effective leader. And so you'll see some of the questions on the cards there. These are prompts or activities that students do in the Academy, just a few. But questions like, what is your purpose? Should we strive for meaning or happiness in life? The kinds of things that you should be thinking about as you're building your path towards leadership are conversations that you're going to be having in this class with your peers from all over the world and with your instructors who are guiding you along the way. So students will be in the Leadership as a Practice class for 1.5 hours once a week, and then in smaller learning groups with about 9 to 10 students for 1 hour twice a week. So that's 3.5 hours in total in a class per week. And then alongside that, I mentioned the speaker series. So these are some names from our most recent semester. You'll see Adam Grant, who is a pretty big name, Sundar Pichai from Google, Sheryl Sandberg from Facebook. And like I mentioned, these are exclusive talks where our students can literally pose a question to these people and have conversations about what their path to leadership was like in a way that is pretty unique. So we're asking questions kind of specific for the 17 to 21-year-old age range, whereas these folks have probably been interviewed dozens of times, but not with that lens. We also have the impact partnerships. So I mentioned that you can opt to volunteer if you want to. Some students come in with like a big plan and they know what they're doing for their gap year and they just need the academy to kind of fill it in. Other students are really looking to fill their schedules and therefore might be looking for a volunteer opportunity with one of our impact partners. And we actually have a much longer list if you want to check out our website. But these are organizations who have agreed to take on volunteers from our academy. So it would just be a matter of reaching out and seeing what opportunities they have available. Like I mentioned, there is one-on-one mentorship as a requirement of the academy. I think this is really nice, particularly as we are still kind of navigating this socially distant world. Networking is not exactly the same as it has been in recent years. And so this is an opportunity to kind of make sure you're not losing out on that one-on-one support. And I did mention earlier the map of where our students are coming from. This was from the spring academy, so the very most recent semester. A little overview of the racial and ethnic diversity of our class, and then a bit about the scholarship recipiency as well. So a large number of our students ultimately receive scholarships to attend the academy. This is just a little bit about the social side of the academy. So we are on the Discord server, and students have the opportunity to create interest clubs, hang out in the lounge and literally have kind of video calls with one another. Or you could even just kind of listen to playlists together in the jukebox room. So a lot of fun opportunities to engage on Discord outside of the academic side of the academy. And then logistically, tuition for the academy is $5,000. We do offer need-based scholarships. Students will have to submit either the FAFSA for US students or the CSS profile for international students. And finally, we are looking for creative, curious, driven leaders who have a passion for changing the world. And so our application deadline coming up is July 23rd. And again, our program dates are there. That's the end of the presentation. So do feel free to email me if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, we're going to the Living City Project.
Hello, everyone. Can you see my screen?
You're looking good.
Great. So hi, I'm Andy Myers. I'm actually here with my partner, Tanya Gallo, who will be addressing you in the Q&A. We're the co-founders and co-directors of the Living City Project, and our gap year program is called City Gap. The mission of City Gap is, there are really two parallel missions. One is we see New York City as a classroom, as a studio, and as a community. And what that really means is we spend as much time as the weather and our civic partners will permit out in New York City, in all 5 boroughs and the larger metropolitan region, digging deeply into relevant questions of the moment and questions of history. And questions of history, of science, of creativity, of literature, and so forth. At this particular moment, there's a particularly rich opportunity because we can not only observe, but even participate in conversations about how New York City and cities around the world emerge from the pandemic. And we can look at the challenges which have been forefronted by this moment to see how civic leaders, how community activists, how environmental activists, how artists can address those questions in a powerful and meaningful way. I'm not going to read through all the bullet points here. I'll pull out a few of the most critical ones. We serve obviously rising freshmen in college, but also college students in other parts of their college career. And I think the most important aspect of our program is that it is field-based, that we will spend time together indoors preparing for field work and debriefing from field work, and on occasion talking to some of our partners, but the lion's share of our time is hands-on learning and activity out in the city, exploring the various questions with civic partners who are engaged in cutting-edge research and activity in the city. And we tackle questions which are present for New Yorkers and for city dwellers around the world. And we do this in a project-based way. And by the end of the program, you have a robust portfolio of work that you've produced, which is evidence of your mastery and of your experience. When we say project-based, we have two types of projects. We have group projects and we have personal projects. The group projects we determine collectively before the program begins. We engage in that in a collaborative way, but even in the group projects, there are opportunities for diving deeply into areas of personal interest. So whether it's a particular skill or a particular question that you want to address, you can dig in on those as part of the group project. But then there are also personal projects where you will dive deeply into areas of your own passion and interest, and we will connect you with our partners in the city. So what do we mean by a project? Our projects are 6 to 8 weeks long. We have one primary group project that we engage during the 14 weeks of the semester, and then we shift over into the personal projects. And all of our projects look at the city through 5 lenses. The form of the city, which looks at social geography and planning and transportation and architecture. The resilient city, which grapples with issues of climate change and health and welfare as we look at the city in terms of sustainability. The just city, which looks at diversity and inclusion and creating more inclusive narratives about how the city came to be and how we address issues of gentrification and affordable housing and equity. City of Memory, which looks at the histories that we present in telling the story of the city, whether it's through public monuments and statuary or through art or just through public narratives, and how we can make that a more inclusive set of narratives. And then the City of Creativity, which is really about art and creativity in the city. These are some project examples. The examples we've had over the past year would include how restaurants reemerged from the pandemic, creating a more equitable, inclusive, and just food system. The transportation network and how the transportation network can move into the future. And you can see a variety of different other project examples here. This is just part of the list of projects that we present students when we're choosing what the group project would be. We present this to our participants, and then together we determine what we're going to be studying together. And you can see it ranges from questions of immigration to waterfront resilience, to public art, to performance, to the food system. We do this on the basis of what is current and what is present in the minds of our students. And then finally, what are the outcomes of our program? There are so many, and it depends upon what you bring to the program and what you're searching for. But I would say for me, maybe the most meaningful is that it's an opportunity for transformation, where you can become more self-possessed, where you can master life skills, where you can find your passions, where you can explore questions more deeply, make lifelong friends, and also make connections to our partners who may become mentors for you in future life, whether in college or in career. And then here's our sort of logistical information. This is how you can join us. The application is relatively straightforward. There's a deep interview process because we really want to get to know you well before you come to join us. And there is our tuition, and housing is provided by a partner named Educational Housing Service, which is a dorm-like experience in New York City. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. Next, we will be hearing from Penn LPS Gap Year Programs.
All right, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Oh, it's not letting me share. Okay, here we go. Okay, so my name is Amy Mulhern, and I am representing Penn LPS Online. Penn LPS Online is a division of the College of Liberal and Professional Studies at the University of Pennsylvania. We offer a vast array of online undergraduate courses that can be completed individually or as part of a certificate. And these courses are open enrollment, meaning anyone with at least a high school diploma can enroll in them. There's no application necessary. So this could be a great way, an interesting way to spend some of your gap year, earn some college credits that you can, at the discretion of the school you end up enrolling at, transfer to wherever you end up going after your gap year. So just to give you an idea, we fall under, we're a division of the School of Arts and Sciences at the University of Pennsylvania. So the classes that we offer span from social science to climate change to neuroscience to creative writing. You name it, you could take a class in it at Penn LPS Online, and we're still in the process of offering more and more areas of study. Classes are 8 weeks in length. Some are, and they're fully online. Some of them are synchronous, meaning the class will have a designated meeting time, virtual, with your instructor, with your classmates. Some classes are asynchronous, so you can complete the class over the 8-week period, but on your own time, so they're asynchronous. We also offer certificates, so you can take as few courses as you want, maybe one, or you can take 4 or 5 towards a certificate. This could be a really great way to get some exposure to the college level classroom, earn some credits, earn a great resume booster too. So these are the certificates we offer. Some of them are 4 courses, some are 5, some are synchronous and some are asynchronous. But again, you can take as few as 1 course if that's what you choose to do. We have a lot of information on our website, which is lpsonline.sas.upenn.edu. Classes currently, each class costs about $2,500, and it's worth about 4 credit hours at other universities, whereas Penn uses a course unit. So each course is 1 course unit. And then any questions you have, feel free to email us at lpsonline@sas.upenn.edu. Now I'm going to stop sharing and hand it over to my colleague, Stacy, who's going to talk about some more opportunities.
Thanks, Amy. I'm going to share my screen. How's that? Can you see my screen right now?
Yes, we can see PowerPoint open.
Fantastic. Okay, let me go back one here. Whoops. So I want to tell you tonight about our Penn Boot Camps. Amy talked about some 4-credit offerings. These are some non-credit offerings that are a great opportunity for you to acquire some technical skills during your gap year. We've been offering these for over 3 years now. These are the 6 different boot camps we have. There's 6 different 6-month programs in full stack web development or coding, cybersecurity, data analysis and visualization, fintech, digital marketing, and UX UI, which is the user experience or user interface. The boot camps last for 6 months, 24 weeks. They are live online synchronous. So it's 10 hours a week of time in class with a live instructor and TAs. They're either Monday and Wednesday or Tuesday and Thursday nights, and then 4 hours on Saturday, and that is Eastern Standard Time. We do have one shorter program. It's 12 weeks, a 3-month coding class full-time that meets Monday through Friday. As I mentioned, when you complete it, you'll be getting a certificate. It's an intense journey. It's a 6-month boot camp, but I want you to know that there's lots of support to get you through that. We have, in addition to your instructors and TAs, there's a student success manager. There's virtual tutoring sessions that you get in addition to your pre and post-class office hours. And there's 24-hour online support if you tend to work in the middle of the night to work on your code. But most importantly is the group of like-minded peers that you'll be taking these boot camps with. If any of you have tried to learn some of these technical skills on your own, you know how difficult it is. Often you hit a hurdle when you're teaching yourself with an asynchronous course and just don't know where to go. And that's when it really helps to have that instructor and TA, the online tutors who can help you, and your fellow classmates. One of the strong takeaways from the program are the group projects that you'll do. And employers really like to see those. You'll come away with 3 group projects that you can add to your portfolio when you finish the course. So here are just some of the job opportunities that come your way once you complete the bootcamp program. We also have career services as part of the boot camp that you'll get for 3 months once you finish the boot camp. So if you're going to go on to college, you may be thinking, oh, I don't need this, but it is always great to get someone to look at your resume, your LinkedIn page, and they can help you with internships or summer opportunities while you're pursuing your 4-year degree. So here are the upcoming dates for our boot camps along with the fees. The first one is the full-time opportunity. If these dates don't work for you, we offer the boot camps every 6 months. So you could take it again. It is an intense program, so we ask that you pick a time that really works for your schedule. To learn more about the curriculum, here's the website. That's where you'd find some admissions information, or here's a phone number if you want to talk to someone directly. Thank you.
Sorry about that. Thank you so much, Penn LPS. Finally, tonight, we will be hearing from Parzival Academy.
All right. I think we're good here. Can everyone see the screen okay?
Looks good to me.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'm Kim Marie, and my partner Raluca Cannon is here. She'll probably be answering questions in the chat. And Parzival Academy is a program that we created around the concept of trusting in oneself and in their place in the world. I'm so thrilled to be seeing so many great programs that are alternative to the conventional education. We are so needing that. And on many levels, Parzival was created around the notion of becoming. So it's very much about something to become and a process of becoming, a journey of becoming. We have a strong focus on socio-entrepreneurialism, which looks at things like leadership, wellness, our overall personal awareness and awareness of our environment, and lots of outside the box thinking. And of course, this concept of evolutionary thinking and evolutionary education of where we're headed in the future. And we definitely have a very strong focus also on the concepts of sustainability, both personal sustainability and outer environmental sustainability and community sustainability. So we look at a concept of fulfillment from many angles from a holistic perspective. This is ultimately a journey of self-discovery. And if we take a look at this journey from sort of an archetypal perspective, the story of Parzival is the quintessential story of a youth who's foolish, naive, not so sure. We can consider these young adults moving into the world, longing to have their place in the world, wondering who they are, what the world has for them, and what they can offer the world, how they can make an impact. And so this is a journey where we could consider, we're navigating often between the city and the workplace and the vocational world that we're wanting to move into, and our home and our inner life. And we usually move through transitions all throughout our entire journey. And often it's a journey of the unknown. And students today so often feel burnt out before they ever even get started on the college path, burnt out on the traditional educational journey. And so we're looking at finding an inner compass. And we have various ways in which we do that. We navigate between our inner world and our outer world. And we do that by going through 4 stages. Our first stage is the discover stage. And in this area, we are asking the questions of who am I? What's missing? What can I contribute in the world? We take a look at students' strengths and navigating the extremes of life, how to do that, what are the tools that can help us do that, and also a really key factor of moving through resistance, which we all have as we try to move through life at any stage of our development. And then we move toward connecting. We connect to what matters. We're asking ourselves, what are my values? What's my sense of purpose? What am I here to do? Where can I contribute? And we're diving deeper into the elements of communication. And we love to look at diversity, equity, and inclusivity as a concept of connectivity through our communities and our cultures. And then also the very rarely ever visited concept of emotional mastery, looking at how we can navigate our own emotions and the emotions of others even. And becoming effective. How do we connect with those values and use them to be most effective in the world? And then we move toward envisioning. And envisioning is a process of looking at the questions of how do I stay in integrity with who I am? How do I really stay true to myself and make it while I'm making a difference? And we look at moving beyond fear and deal with stress management, learn lots of great tools for that, and cultivating resilience. And we also put a big focus on this when we're envisioning. We want to envision the concept of a sustainable and authentic life. What does that mean for each individual? Because for every individual, it's going to be different. And of course, any vision is often just a vision. We don't know always what it's going to look like or how to get there. So we do a lot of work around navigating the unknown and how to move into that. And then we take this concept of these questions of who am I, what's missing, etc., and discovering, connecting, envisioning, and we then say, let's put it to work. Let's make it happen. What can we create with this newfound sense of self and this new sense of understanding of who we are and what we long to create and be in the world? So we look at bringing in the concept of the socio-entrepreneurial spirit, soulful leadership concepts, and integrating the trust in ourselves and in our place in the world. We ask the students to redefine happiness and success according to their definitions, what it means for them. And we look a lot at the concept of innovation for the sake of sustainability and a more regenerative future. So this takes me to the concept of what makes Parzival a bit different. We have a unique blend of in-person and online becoming. As I said, this is a journey. We have some time in the mountains of Colorado for our orientation and graduation weeks. And then in between, we have online learning that is flexible and can be participated in from anywhere. So students can travel as they wish, be with family, have jobs, even do other studies as they wish, to do this deep dive into who they are and make sure that whatever they're doing feels aligned with themselves and they can connect with others who care about doing that kind of a deep dive. We focus on project-based experiences every month, even sometimes every week, depending on what we're working on. Students will be given projects that help them dive deeper into this. We also focus on personalized mentorship for every single student every single week, which is a powerful opportunity for students to get coaching and mentorship. The 9-month program offers the opportunity for truly embodied learning, where they really get to practice and become what they're learning, not just learn the concepts. And we offer tools and guidance for a truly sustainable future. Our students are hungry for the unique tools and understanding that are often not offered elsewhere. We don't see these kinds of things offered in high schools or colleges typically, or any kind of conventional education. And these students know that there's something more they're looking for. They feel it and they're ready to find it. And they're longing to make an impact and deeply, deeply explore who they are and make sure they're doing these things with their visions and collaborating with others, et cetera, to move forward on that path. The concept of becoming is so much of not just outcomes and results, but but a lifestyle. It's a way of being. These students become beacons for the future, for the people around them. They start to radiate something out that is unique and different. And some become entrepreneurs and want to focus on an entrepreneurial path. Some just want to focus on really finding a career that aligns with them, or deepening into further, more aligned studies where they truly feel like they can move forward without feeling trapped in their life. And we offer skills for a lifetime, as you can see from this list. Finally, to look at the Parzival admissions, we can be found at parcivalacademy.org, and we begin September 6th and we end May 13th. And the program is $8,500. We do offer need-based financial support, and there's an easy application process online. And the website will offer more details on the curriculum and the weekly rhythm. There's a lot of great information there, and you're welcome to email us at any time at info@parcivalacademy.org for more details.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you so much.
I would like to invite all of our presenters to come back on screen. We only have time for one question tonight, but we're going to be asking all 5 of you one question, so everyone who's here watching can get a little bit more sense of what they might get in your program. Some of you touched on this, but more specifically, when a student leaves your program, what are the expected outcomes, and what skills and knowledge or insights do you hope they walk away with? So we're going to start with Amigos.
Thanks. You know, I think generally speaking, what we want, what our aim is for our participants to walk away from our programs with a really much broader picture of the world, not just from having seen a different place, but also having experienced a different way of living and a different cultural experience, and you know, not just sort of like, wow, this is different, but really understanding like that there are a broad spectrum of lived experiences across the world, and how you can kind of leverage that in your own development in the future, both from how you approach service as well as how you approach just generally what your goals are in life. So we really like to see a lot of development and kind of like striving for leadership from the folks that participate in our programs.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Alex. What about at Global Citizen Year? What can students walk away with and hope to know after they finish their program?
Yeah, so for us, really, we're just hoping that students walk away with a deeper understanding of themselves. You know, what are your strengths? What do you feel like your purpose might be, at least right now? A better understanding of your identity and how all of the identities that you have help make you a better leader. And then we're also hoping you walk away with some concrete skills too, around public speaking, putting together a project proposal, things like that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. At the Living City Project and City Gap, what can we hope? What do you hope students walk away with when they finish with your program?
All right, thanks so much for the question. So a few different things. I think what's most important is they're having the opportunity to do a deep dive in an area of expertise in the city. And so they're walking away from being able to have the opportunity to work with experts in a field and create an actual project out of that. So for instance, we worked on food justice this year, and a 120-page book was created that addresses the New York City food system. So there's actually a product that's been created that can become a portfolio that can be used in any aspect of their life after that. So we kind of mix both actually producing work that can be applied to things that they do once they leave the program, but then also learning how to navigate a city like New York, and sort of learning all the ins and outs and challenges and you know, great experiences that you can have a city like New York that can also be applied to other cities that they live in. And so the experience of learning how to navigate both independently and in a group and working collaboratively, I think is something that they then can apply when they go off to college, or even when they go back to college and think about what's next in terms of a career, and also discovering what makes them feel passion and interest in the work that they're doing.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that answer. With the Penn LPS programs, Stacy or Amy, what do you hope that that students or people enrolled in the program walk away with?
So if we're speaking tangibly, they're walking away with college credits that they can apply to whatever program they end up enrolling at. And otherwise, I think it's just a really good chance to get a feel for the college level classroom, college level coursework, get a chance to explore some areas of study that may be of interest to them before they actually embark on a college level career. So I think it's a great way to stay engaged in their education while they're kind of like taking some time off.
And for the boot camps, we're really hoping that you're going to walk away with skills that make you employer ready. If it is a gap year and that you're looking to take those skills to further your education for the next 4 years, you can remember this program when you finish or during the summers. The opportunity is always there, but we're going to teach you a breadth of technical skills. It's just like learning a language, and we're going to give you the knowledge that you need to keep that those technical skills growing throughout your lifetime. Because as anybody ever says, 6 months is intense, but if you're in the tech field, you're learning your whole lifetime. So that's what we really hope, that we're going to give you that breadth that lets you grow as you go through life. Thanks.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. Finally, Kim, at Parzival, what do you hope, what are your expected outcomes? What do you hope that people who go through the program walk away with?
Thank you. It's a great question. And I think the biggest goal that we see is we want to look at truly trusting in oneself and their place in the world. We want students to feel that. That's what we're all about. We see too many adults that end up feeling trapped in their lives, having kind of followed a path that they're not feeling aligned with. I think that's what a lot of the gap year space is about, that they really long to take a pause and take a break. And then during that time, not only the ultimate goal of trusting in oneself and their place in the world, but also really having a lot of these great leadership skills, the socio-entrepreneurial skills that really look at life holistically and say, how can I make an impact and make a difference, and really feel good about it and feel a sense of fulfillment through the process.
Fantastic. Thank you for that answer, Kim. And thank you all of you for your presentations and your time. All of you attending, thank you for coming. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope that you are thinking about your gap years. And once again, we just want to thank everyone for what has been a great session of a great TeenLife Live Gap Year Fair. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
I think